welcome back to TubeTalk.
It's the trifecta of Bosman children. We've had Kate, yet Doug, and now Sophie back for TubeTalk.
One time only.
It must be like, holidays. Although you're going back to university soon.
Yes.
Abandon your parents.
Get me for 1 week.
Yes, exciting. There'll be plenty of comments.
I hope so.
Bring back Sophie permanently.
I'll fly back every week for it.
Damn Doug. Get rid of him. He's useless.
Yes. So, we will start off with last week, where we had Wairere Falls that came first at Rosehill.
Yeah, very good horse. Good wins. Ridden one's place further back, allowed him to finish off stronger. There was a real front running on the rail bias all day that day, but he overcame that. He was very good beating the favourite. There's a really, really good race in this horse. He's just approaching $400,000 in prize money won in Australia. So he's a very good horse.
Awesome. And we also had Starry Beale, who came second in the Wellington Cup.
Yeah, so he was unlucky. Gosh, it was exciting. The draw dictated he got a long way back. He just got a bump halfway down the straight, which meant that he had to weave through runners. He dived, missed by a neck. Really exciting. Opens up a lot of options. He runs 2 miles. He's got it all in front of him as a stayer over the next year. Mm-hmm. Very exciting.
And on Sunday, GC was second at Ellerslie.
Very unlucky. Couldn't get out. Got back on the rail. Couldn't get out. Forced his way out. Dashed and just missed. He's a very good horse. He's a group horse. He'll continue to go through the grades. Just needs clear running basically, and he'll be winning next start. And
finally, we also had Waimoku Falls, who also came second at Ellerslie.
So many seconds were like a watch. Yes, she did. And look, the draw bet her. She got back. The favourite ended up settling 1 spot in front of her, and she couldn't quite run it down. And that was the winning and losing of the race. Probably if she'd settled in front of the favourite, she would have won. But she's a really progressive horse. She's only going to get even better with time. And she'll be very hard to beat next start. I'm excited about getting her to 2,000 metres in time, and she's a group horse.
Awesome. And now we move on to this week. Starting off on Saturday at New Plymouth, race 2, we've got Mactoon.
Like this race from, he's drawn barrier 7 of 7, which isn't ideal, but small field. I think his runs this time have been good. He had absolutely no luck last time. He gets any luck in this field, I think he's hard to beat. Meant to be a bit of rain around, so he doesn't really like it too wet. I think a little bit of rain won't matter. I think we've just got to leave it up to Jonathan Riddell just to work out how he rides him from where he jumps, but I think it's a really good chance for him to return to form.
Mm-hmm. And then in race 7 we have Miss Ella,
who was 6th in the Cracker Million Mile last time. And as it panned out, looking at all the sectionals, everything up front went far too hard. They all stopped. She actually battled on better than any of them. So had a lot of merit. She steps up to 1,800 metres. I'm not worried about that at all. She does have a very awkward barrier draw. She'll get back in the field and with Michael McNabb on board and just relax. She'll be relaxed. She will be following something into the race. I don't know how she'll handle a very wet track if it gets very wet, but on class alone, she should be right in it. I think she's a really good winning chance.
Mm-hmm. And then in race 8, we have got Quick Preview.
So he's a horse that he's not going terrible, but he's just not quite getting over the line. So his next couple of runs are really important for him, for his career, because he's better than what he's been showing. He strikes a race here over a mile, where he gets a midfield barrier draw, should settle midfield. Blinkers go on. He worked very well on those blinkers this week. He worked super. He doesn't like it wet either, and there is rain due. If that rain doesn't come, I think it's a really good chance for him to step up and show some form. Not that it's been going bad, but just to be going a couple of lengths better. Rain may be the issue for him though.
Mm-hmm. And then we move on to Winger Tui, race 8. We've got Hasbro running.
He'll be awfully hard to beat. It's weight for age. He drops from 62 to 58.5 kilos. Most of the horses in the race are going from 54, 55 up to 58.5. He gets in beautifully at the weight. He's got a lovely barrier draw. He's into barrier 3. His main danger, Miss Tycoon Rose, is scratched. He's the best horse in the field, and with even luck, he'll be right there at the finish. He looks a very good winning bet.
Mm-hmm. And then in race 9, we've got Pull Your Socks Up.
Returned to form last start, fresh up with a second, and she was unlucky. There was a riderless horse in the race which just held her in for too long, and when she got out, she dashed home. Bit of an awkward draw, but if she races up to the way she raced last start, she'll run really well, and she's a definite top 3 chance.
Moving on to Australia.
Australia!
Exactly. Gold Coast, race 4, we have got Cote de Bar.
He's got 2 zeros next to his name. His first start, he got knocked over terribly on the corner, and the race was over. His second start, I just think he lost confidence from his first run. He was in the trail, he was travelling, and he just kind of didn't do anything. So we've changed environment for him. We've sent him up to Queensland, and that seems to have worked. He won a trial leading into this, and he seems to be really well. He's got barrier 4, so he gets his opportunity to sit a bit handier over the 1800 metres and get a bit of confidence back. Would not be a surprise at all to see him turn his form around.
And Newcastle race 7, we have got Man of Sin.
Really interesting runner. He's probably our most interesting runner of the weekend. He was a very good 3-year-old. He won his maiden by 8 lengths, ran 4th in the Group 3 Rough Habit plate. Really good horse. He then just sort of had a few temperament issues and lost his way. We've sent him out. He's been doing farm training, and he's got better and better, and he seems really good. He's had 2 nice trials, so he's first up for quite a while. The 1500 might be a touch short, but he's got a nice barrier drawer. If he gets into a nice rhythm and relaxes, that's what we want to see, and he should be hitting the line well. As long as he runs well and hits the line, I think it'll be very hard to beat second up.
Sweet. And then moving on to Doonbin, race 9, we have got Stardome.
I'm talking too quickly. I need to drink.
That's all right.
So Stardome, very good first up over a 1300. He's a stayer, so he's 2200 metres. Over 1350 with a massive weight first up at 80 to 1. He ran 6th. That was a really good run. So he's second up to a mile. It's still short of his best. He's not going to be his best till he gets to 2,000 metres. He's got a big weight to carry, 6.5, but he's got Jim Byrne on. He's got a nice barrier drawer. Hopefully he can settle about midfield and hit the line hard again. If he runs top 5, we're going to be happy because it sets him up beautifully for a 2,000 metre race, which is exactly what he wants in a couple of weeks' time.
And finally, lucky last, Randwick, race 10, Mighty Beale.
The very, very good Mighty Beale. Stakes went over a mile and a half last start. He's getting ready for the Sydney Cup. He's first up. We'll wait and see. We will only make a call on Saturday morning whether he runs. He trialled the last week and he trialled very well, but the 1600 is well short of his best. Tommy Berry on board, he'll probably get back a little bit in this kind of field over this distance, but if he runs, he should be hitting the line well. He's a class horse, and you can never discount him in a race like this, but you would certainly expect him to be better for this run.
And finally, we move on to Bet of the Week.
Everyone's favourite, but they ignore everything else they do and they fast forward this. Because last week, the chosen one, people, $7.30. Did you get on?
You can type it in the comments, your response down below.
He was victorious. We're on a roll.
Okay, so drum roll please. It is Sorrento, running at Wingatui in race 4.
So it's in the Dunedin Guineas. Sorrento was a horse that through the spring, heading into the 1,000 Guineas, ran second to Art de Triomphe, ran 4th against some very good horses like Field of Gold, Novia, in stakes races. So she's got a good form. She ran 4th in the Gorgie Guineas fresh up, but she goes, the 1,400 metres suits better on Saturday. She's got barrier 2, she's got to be able to settle a bit closer. She's got good form around it, and I think at $8.50, she's fantastic each way money. So Sorrento, at value, each way as our bet of the week for Saturday with the Dunedin Guineas.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Albert.
Thank you, Sophie, and let's hope you're lucky for us.
I think so.
And we'll see the results next week.
Bye.
Castletown's giving a sight here. Castletown ranged up to Newbury Star. Placido between them. Starring is now starting to run on, but he's hit the front. Castletown. He's a length clear on Placido. Torbo late, but it's Castletown